Hey y'all, what's up? Welcome back to Forgiving the Masculine. We're doing it. It's not a straight line, okay? I am maybe one step, maybe half a step ahead of you, but this is my mission right now is to bring in this new humanity where we're no longer playing victim perpetrator roles. We're done with that. We're done with the defensiveness and we're done with the shame blame spiral. Today, I want to touch on the biggest lie in our households that's been perpetrated for hundreds, maybe thousands of years, is that the husband and the children come first. Where did this come from? Okay. What reality makes it so that moms come second or third in the order of importance in the household? No, we're not doing that anymore, right? No, y'all. I'm on a full on mission to make that my life's purpose, that moms to the center, mothers to the center. It's hard at first to wrap our heads around this, right? I matter more than my child. You do. And let me tell you why. Let me break that down real quick. Because when you live your most beautiful life, when you are in your fullest expression of yourself, your child ultimately benefits and your husband benefits and everybody around you benefits. We all rise. When you put yourself first, everybody benefits. What is it about having a child that brings us to our knees, that like cripples us as strong women? Like, especially like the longer you've been working on yourself, building your career, developing your sense of self, your sense of identity. Let's say you're like late 30s, 40, having a child. What is it about this that breaks us? That removes us from our identity. We have put so much into constructing this I, me, myself, that having somebody then being completely dependent on us, completely connected to our every emotion and thought, it then creates this like question. It reshapes our brain, like literally, like it shrinks the gray matter in our brain so that we are to the point where we can't find ourselves anymore. Which then, if you have tendencies and in the past have like been in codependent relationships, like raise your hand. I have many times found myself in codependent dynamics, anxious person right here. And, that kind of makes me a lot of fun. But also, when you are postpartum, the anxiety just gets ramped up. First of all, breastfeeding. Like if you breastfed, like right there, you got prolactin, you're snappy, you're moody, like you get these intrusive thoughts. Like, I don't know about you, but for me, it was like knives. Like I would walk past a knife and I would imagine it flying off the counter into my child. But like, explain that to me. That makes no sense. But yeah, if you've had a baby, you know what that feels like. And what then happens is it triggers this dynamic in your relationship. The more anxious you become, the more defensive, the more reactive, the more aggressive we come off as. Like we're showing our teeth more often when we have babies. We're low on sleep, we're low on nutrition, we're short on spoons, and like that warm, snuggly energy in our relationship, it takes a back seat to that primordial sense of like survival. And like if you have a lot of help and you got a lot of family around and a lot of hands on deck, then maybe that wasn't your experience. But I, I know for those of us that have a really small support circle, it felt like survival. Like the first year, I made it to the first year and I was like, how did that just happen? So I feel you. I'm with you. It's not just you, it's real. But this is where this lie has been destroying our families. 67%. I will not stop talking about this number. 2 out of 3 relationships end the first 2 years with a baby. What's up with that? What's up? Those numbers are shocking. You know somebody who has walked away from a relationship with a small baby. The relationship has to be so bad in order for you to walk away from it with a small baby, like your main support person. It has to get to the point where you're so tired that it's like easier to have a child by yourself than to do it while arguing and fighting in circles and circles and circles with your difficult partner. And like, if the man wasn't being difficult or if the partner wasn't being difficult, would we walk away? No, it wouldn't happen. So there's so much compassion and grace that needs to come from like the depths of your being if this is the reality that you've lived in. And I came really close a lot of times. And this has been my biggest challenge to overcome in my life to date, which is why I'm not going to stop talking about it anytime soon, is how to protect my family at the cost of rising above this blame, shame, victim spiral. So let's talk about these like avoidant guys. If you're an anxious girly like me, chances are you shacked up with a guy that's a little bit avoidant. And that avoidance comes from like a core wound in men. And nothing triggers your core wounds like having a child. Bless them. We love them. But this is the greatest self-development journey in all of humanity, is having a child. Something that they don't really tell you about. And if you're getting ready to have a kid, like, welcome to the club. It is a full-on initiation, next level. Love my daughter. She's incredible. She's tested every ounce of my sanity. Core wounds in men that often get triggered, especially ones that tend to be avoidant, is that they're not enough. There's not enough, right? There can never be enough. They can never make enough. They can't do enough. What they do is not good enough. This sense of like, there's something missing, they're lacking, like maybe it's not long enough. This is a very common wound and something that my husband definitely struggles with, even though he tells me he doesn't to my face. He's like, that's not me. Like, I've known you for 5 years. That's definitely you. It's something that they don't even want to admit to. That's how deep it is inside of them. And a lot of it has to do with society, right? Like these big structures, these big top-down structures that say you have to climb on top of everybody in order to get to the top. And the top, there is no top, right? There is no top. Even when you get to the top, the people who are at the top, they want more top. And that's an old way that's going out. These days of that being the reality, they're numbered. It has to be that way. The natural order of things will come back to a circle. It will come back to this feminine idea that we all have something to contribute. Everybody. So, grace in this process of dismantling these psychotic ways of being. The core wound in women that gets triggered, ouch, it's that we're too much. Have you ever felt that you're too big, too loud, too short, too fill in the blank, right? That you spend too much, that you have too much, that you talk too much. I mean, that was something even my mom used to say about me, like you're too much. Ouch. Yeah. So then we have a baby and we have all these needs, right? That we can't even fulfill ourselves, that maybe we got really good at doing it, really good at being independent. We naturally become dependent on others. And it really triggers this sense of like, oh my gosh, I'm not a perfect mom. I'm not doing enough tummy time. I'm thinking too much. I'm worrying too much. I'm changing diapers too much. I'm making too much trash. I like la 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 la. It gets triggered. It gets ramped up. And we look instantly, we turn to who? Daddy. We turn to daddy and we're like, what's up? Why aren't you doing enough? Why aren't you doing more? And they're like, hey, I'm pretty sure I'm doing a lot. I'm pretty sure I'm doing everything I can in their minds, right? Let's give them some grace. In their minds, they're doing every single thing they can. And for us, we're like, well, you didn't do this, so you're not. Who's had that argument before? Oh my gosh, we've had that argument so many times. I don't want to have that argument anymore because what I see now from this perspective that I've had that argument, we've gotten to the point where we're living in separate houses and I'm obsessed with keeping my family together to the point where I will do anything. I will humble myself. I will praise him when I'm cross. Like any shred of reasonable, like rational thought that is like going to keep us together. What our family needs in that moment is grace and compassion, not reactivity and resentment and anger. All of these are standing between us and what we truly want and what our world truly needs, which is love, sweet love. I mean, imagine a world. I'm about to start singing, y'all. Can you imagine a world where instead of judging and resenting and blaming, we come back to the parts of ourselves that are either hurting or are needing to be cared for? And I know that this, like these arguments, they feel so personal, right? It feels so personal when you've had a small baby with somebody, you've changed your life to have this dream, and this window is small. The window of them being little, I mean, really little is 3 years, but even 7 years, it's a small window of when they're pretty much all the time reliant on their core family as a sense of understanding their world. Like you are their world for those first 7 years. That is a very short amount of time. And I just had this conversation with my husband last night. I was like, I'm not asking for the next 30 years of your life to be the main person in your life. I'm not asking to be number one forever. I'm just asking, while our daughter is small, while she is little, please make me number one. Please, I need to be number one while she is small. And then once she grows up, I can be a lot more my own number one. It's 4 more years that I'm really asking you to put the things that you think should be number one, which a lot of his number one right now, even though it looks like it's his job, his work, his career, it's him. He puts himself number one. Again, coming back to that idea of society where you have to climb to the top, and that individual, especially Western, Northern idea that to be number one, you have to put yourself first. I felt like he wasn't seeing me, like he wasn't really seeing all the invisible labor that I was doing, all of the mental, emotional, spiritual, all of the energetic and mental work that I was doing was going unnoticed. And I felt like I didn't exist, like I wasn't important or I didn't matter. I mean, he kind of felt the same way too, which is like ironic in these relationships. It's like, God, come on. It's always this mirror, right? Where I feel a way, chances are the other person's feeling the same way. And we're just two people feeling and showing back to each other the same way that we feel. This is why I love circling so much, but we'll save that for another day, because when we start really getting into a good circle, all of a sudden it's like, oh my gosh, you are another me. And spoiler alert, we out here. just like fingertips of the same one cosmic being. Love it. It all comes back to these same core wounds that we are all working to get over. Let's unpack. What are these core wounds? There's 4 of them. The first is that I'm unsafe, that people are going to hurt me, that people are going to leave me. That's a main core wound that we all struggle with. The other is that I'm unworthy, that I don't deserve it, that I'm not good enough, or that I don't matter. The other one is scarcity, that there's not enough time, not enough money, not enough good men, not enough people in my community, not enough help. The fourth one is powerlessness. Ugh. Yeah. Having a toddler will really trigger this core wound that I can't get what I want, that she can't get what she wants and I can't get what I want. And so we do this back and forth a lot of like, who's going to get what they want and where's the happy ground? But yeah, those are the 4 big ones, right? Unsafe, unworthy, scarcity, and powerlessness. You're going to find a lot of your arguments are going to touch on these core wounds. And we have these core wounds so protected, like so shielded and guarded and protected. Because underneath those core wounds, that's like our true essence. When you get past those ouchy parts, and when you're like, ooh, that touched an ouchy part, and you get down below that, you touch on the essence of who you are. Let's call it your soul. Let's call it your eternal being. The part of you that never dies, that is what is underneath that. So yeah, of course, we've created all of these defense mechanisms to protect that really tender, like eternal part of ourselves. We keep going under the essence. There's more. What's underneath essence? What's underneath your spirit, your soul? It's source consciousness. The other 96% of reality that we don't know even exists because we only see 4% of what is real. And that 4% of what is real, we cram into these core wounds that we keep so guarded, that we keep so protected, that we will break apart our families, the most important things in our lives, in order to keep them as gospel and true. This is why we have come to this point in society where there is war, there is famine, there is greed. Our families are falling apart. Our children are growing up sicker and sadder than ever. That's why this time, right now, is the biggest leap in human conscious evolution, because we have ended the Kali Yuga, the end stage of human times, and we are stepping into a new version of humanity where we can live from a place of compassion and love and acceptance. Hand to your heart, breathe that in. This is not a straightforward path, y'all. We've never done this before in humanity, but how exciting is it that we get to do it now? Are you in or what? Let's do it together. This has been Forgiving the Masculine. We're doing it. We're forgiving the masculine inside of ourselves. We're forgiving the masculine that has perpetrated against humanity. And we're forgiving the men in our homes so that we can bring harmony home and we can raise beautiful generation of humans. Love y'all. I'm Joanna Sullivan. Catch you next time. Peace.